This is N5FDL with a demonstration of the navigation problems that my FTM-350R is having. We're navigating to, as you can see here, point number 1 in the GPS 2 bank, which is a distance of 2.2 miles from here. That's a Costco store that the display shows, and we're about to start moving, as being behind me and slightly off to my left. In fact, the Costco is, and we're turning in a parking lot, so you're about to watch the display move, it's about at 11 o'clock, that is ahead of me, and actually off to the left just a little bit. We've gone now about 2 blocks north. You can see the destination is still showing as being out at, we'll call that 2 o'clock, when in fact the destination is actually 2.2 miles away, but is ahead of me off to the left, probably in about the 11 o'clock position. So you can see that from 2 o'clock back to 11 o'clock, I guess, is about the error on the display right at this moment. We have turned and are going west. It briefly showed the direction as being correct right after the turn, but as soon as we have turned and are now heading pretty much west, you'll see that it is showing the destination as being almost directly behind us. We've turned now, we're going north again. You'll see it showed north there, our direction of travel, but it again shows the Costco store now as being due east of us, when in fact it's pretty close to due west of us right now. We're about to make a turn now onto Grant Line Road. Now the store at this moment is due west of us. We'll be making a turn and pointing straight at the store. It's a little bit off the road, but only the width of the big parking lot. We are at this moment 2.1 miles away from the store, and the display is showing it still as being off to our right when the store is actually off to the left. Okay, here we are making the turn, and this is the turn. We're now turning to be westbound, and at that moment it was pointing. It takes it a moment to get set up properly, and you'll see that the destination is now behind us, almost directly behind us, when in fact the store is actually now 1.9 miles directly in front of us. We are stopping now. We are 0.8 miles, you can read that, away from the store. It still shows it as being behind us and a little bit off to the right. It in fact, well, it just moved. It now shows it as being off to the south of us, which is due left. That's not the case either. In fact, it's in front of us. And again, about at the 11 o'clock position, we start moving again, and you can see that it shifts back to behind us. We're still 0.8 miles away, but that will change in just a second. There it goes to 0.7 miles away. Now, it then briefly showed it right ahead of us, which is where it is, but then quickly moved back to behind. We are now 0.4 miles away, 0.3 miles actually. We're still showing it as though the target is behind us and a little bit off to the left. We're in fact coming up on the shopping center where the Costco is located. So you're going to see it swing around a little bit, and we're going to go up one more stoplight, and then we'll turn in and see if we can't find the goal point that I know is out there in the parking lot. We're going through a signal light here. We are now 0.1 miles away, and we're still showing it as being behind us, when in fact I can now look into the parking lot straight off to my left, which is where it's showing. So as you get right up to the site when traveling westbound, in fact it shows the proper location of the Costco building, which is interesting. Okay, we're making a turn now to go towards Costco, towards the point in the parking lot, and it is showing it as being due ahead of us, which is correct. And there is the goal. We're now going to depart Costco, and I'm going to show you what happens as we leave. And this time we'll go back the same way that we came, so you can see we are now pulling back out of the parking lot. We're back at Grant Line Road, it shows the store as being 0.1 miles directly behind us, but now it's pointing off a little bit in the wrong direction already, because it was behind us, but not in that direction behind us. We are now going away from the store, and it's still pointed vaguely. Now it shows it as being ahead of us, you can see, when in fact the store is very much behind us. We are now 0.4 of a mile away from the store. The store is behind us, and behind us in about the 5 o'clock position, but it shows on the display as though it's ahead of us, not quite to 1 o'clock. So this is the end of the demo. I think I've showed you what you need to see